Hello, welcome back again. Today we are looking at how to find the right light at home. Okay, so it's one of those wonderful things at the moment whereby people think there is a simple answer to these things. If you don't understand light, if you don't understand the four fundamental basics of lighting, you need to go and check that out first. Go do that, then come back here because we're going to be talking a little bit more jargony, so that make sure that you understand those fundamentals first. So go do that and then come back. Now that you've done that and you know those basics, basically there is 4 locations at home that will give you 4 very different lightings. Now there's a little bit of work to be done. Okay, so you do need to understand your house. I cannot tell you to go to your living room window, okay, because the direction of the natural light that's coming through it will have an impact on it. The quality of that light will also have an impact on that, in terms of, is it a really, really sunny day and you've got direct light coming through, which will give you a very harsh quality to it, or have you got actually, it's a typical British day and it's very overcast and it's very grey and it's in a very even light, because depending on what you want to do will be dependent on where you go. So the general rule of thumb, and again, this is, take it with a pinch of salt, you need to understand your own house, okay, is at least one of the windows in your house will be north or south facing. If it's north or south facing, you need to map the best time of day to use it, okay? So the general rule of thumb in our house is I can use the south facing on a morning and I can use the north facing on an afternoon, because as the sun goes up and over the house, it has an impact on it. So that's how we deal with that, okay? So window lighting is absolutely amazing. There is realistically only 2 types of lighting you're going to get from a window though, and that is side lighting or backlighting. Because if you put, quite literally, your product in the window, the light is coming from the back and is going to shine on it. So you're not going to be able to do anything other than side and back light. If you want front lighting, then you're going to have to get a little bit more creative. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use your house, okay? One of the tricks I've been using for a long, long time is literally opening my front door, a garage door, something like that, back door. Pick a door. Lots of light coming through. You can put your product into the spot where you particularly want it. There are plenty of backgrounds that you can use. You don't have to stick with what's on the floor. You can mix it up and change it, and you then shoot from inside or out depending on the direction of the light that you want. Now again, the quality of that light will depend on that particular day, and if you're anything like me and you live in the UK, that's ever changing. You need to keep an eye on it. You need to be able to read the light as it changes. If you're the kind of person that goes, can't be dealing with that, it keeps moving, it keeps changing every time you blink, and you want more consistency, then realistically you are looking to go for an artificial light at home. Now, there are a multitude of things that you can do. You can choose ring lights and go check out my unboxing of that one. You can use the LED panels, and I have several of these knocking around because they're incredibly useful for a fill light. You could use quite literally the house light. Now the reason why I pause there is because there's lots of people standing out there and telling you that you shouldn't use your house light. Why not? I use ours all the time. But the difference is I have the right bulbs in there, okay? You really need to look at the quality of the light of the bulbs that you have, and do you want to change that? Now, the biggest issue, the reason why people tell you not to use house lights is because they are genuinely warm lights, and therefore they have a Kelvin value much lower, and it gives off an awful lighting if you want to do something like product photography, food photography, portrait photography. Warm lighting doesn't work in that extreme level of warm lighting that you get in a house light. However, if you change your bulbs and you become more energy efficient, or you go down the LED route, you can actually get some really, really good lights that are just your box standard house lights. Again, you need to think about the difference between direction, intensity, quality, and colour, okay? Those are all the things you need to be asking yourself about the light that you have, and then you can determine if it matches the situation that you want to do it. Don't forget that you can also get quite creative. The biggest thing about lighting is shadows. What happens where the light doesn't hit? Flat front lighting isn't always the best, and therefore you can mix it up by side lighting, backlighting, getting creative with the textures and the quite literally the shades of the shadows by putting something in front of a light. You can get really creative. You can reflect it, you can diffract it. There's different ways that you can use lighting to make it a much more interesting thing. If you want to know about my top 10 ideas, make sure you go check that one out, because that one is going to be awesome, of different things that you can use without needing to spend any money. Every single one of these things I've done at home with a lamp, with a £5 bulb, okay? It doesn't have to be expensive if you know what you're doing with it. So make sure you gather a few of these ideas and get experimenting. Don't forget to tag me if you do something really cool.